Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Brain Game. My name is Payton Love. I am an ambassador with Head to Speech, a nonprofit dedicated to developing, monitoring, and improving upon educational, scientific, and charitable initiatives for athlete brain health, sports concussions, and their effects on speech, language, hearing, and cognitive communication. A little about me, I am a senior sports management major at Bowie State University with a concentration in general business. I also work at MNC PPC Parks and Recreation, Monumental Sports Entertainment, and I also do personal basketball training. I chose to be an ambassador with Head to Speech because of my career aspiration of being a general manager or owner of a professional sports team. With that, it is important to care for the health and safety of your players, as well as it is important to know and understand brain health because the brain is the most important thing for an athlete, as the brain is basically their life. I also chose to partner with them to learn more about community outreach, marketing, team operations, and player management. With me today are two good friends of mine. Right here, this is Jabari Hawkins, and he will be introduced as Bari throughout the episode. And over here, this is Hezro Johnson III. He will be introduced as Hez throughout the episode. And I'm going to allow them to introduce themselves, tell them their background and their story. So I'm going to start with you, Bari.
My name is Jabari Hawkins. I'm 24. I'm from Washington, D.C. I play college basketball at William Penn University and Shaw University. I was also a graduate assistant basketball coach at Shaw University. Right now, I'm an aspiring professional basketball player and just looking for opportunities in life right now. So glad to be here.
And Hez.
My name is Hezro Johnson. I went to St. Mary's Rankin High School, graduated, went to Prairie View A&M for a year, and then I'm transferring and graduating from Penn State University, Lehigh Valley. Ended up going overseas, playing in London, Armenia, Mexico, Thailand, and most recently China. Won two championships in United Kingdom and Armenia, and ended up making a runner-up game for Thailand. So I'm glad to be here as well.
Gotcha. Appreciate you guys for coming and stopping through. Our target audience is going to be basketball players, particularly high school athletes, because their brain function directly impacts their athletic performance as well as their performance in the classroom. But athletically, this allows for quicker decision making, better coordination, and optimal reaction times. Additionally, understanding brain health can help them manage concussion risk, prevent overtraining, and maintain well-being, which are crucial aspects of a successful athletic career. So we can get into some questions. I'm going to ask you guys some questions, and you guys can answer them however you please. And the first question, just for both of you, have you guys sustained a concussion before?
Yeah, that's why we here.
I think so.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, you don't remember.
Already looking bad for Hez. So, Bari, how did you sustain your concussion?
So I've had two concussions. One in my sophomore year of high school and one in my junior year.
Mhm.
The first one, I got in a serious car accident.
Mhm.
Just hit my head in the back of the headrest pretty hard.
Mhm.
I think it started as a mild concussion because I didn't take care of it right. It transferred over into a serious,
Mhm.
severe concussion. It's probably in the protocol for like 3 months,
Mhm.
honestly. My second concussion wasn't as bad. I was in practice, driving baseline, went up for a shot,
Mhm.
ran into somebody, came down the ground hard, hit my head. I was
Mhm.
probably out for about a week and a half.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Hez, what was your concussion?
My probably like the first actual encounter that I thought I had one
Mm-hmm.
was championship game in Armenia. We were playing, and the guy had threw the ball. I threw the ball in or something. Or no, I caught the ball actually, and swung it to my teammate. He ended up scoring, so I ended up start playing defense with another guy. He catches the ball and rips over top, and I catch an elbow like right in between my eyebrow, my forehead area. and it didn't feel like a concussion during the game,
Mm-hmm.
but like afterwards, I had like problems with the light,
Mm-hmm.
like real loud noises,
Mm-hmm.
and on top of that, I had to fly home after that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was.
So at first you thought of it like as a
Because
real bad headache.
I got cut open.
Mm-hmm.
So like when he went over top, it like it sliced open like a part of my face, so it was like bleeding. So I was like, okay, it's okay.
And just thought it was like a headache.
Yeah, I thought it was. I didn't even feel it until after the game.
Gotcha.
I guess like my adrenaline or whatever.
Gotcha.
So I didn't really feel the headache and stuff until after the game. And like I didn't want to eat. Like I was nauseous, like all this stuff. So I was like, I don't think this is a concussion because I never had one before.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, I'm probably just like I didn't because I don't eat before my game. Like I usually eat after because I don't want to feel sick on the court.
Yeah.
But I thought it was like, oh, I'm just hungry or whatever. But as I started looking into it, but the season was over, so I didn't really have no protocol or nothing like that. So I started looking into it, and I was like,
and you didn't see like a doctor or anything like that? It was like a self-diagnosis? Gotcha.
Because I was on my way back home. So when I got home, I was like, I'm just going to chill. Like, I'm just.
And just to clarify, you kept playing after that incident happened. I know you said you got cut open and bled, so I'm pretty sure they took you out the game to deal with that. Did you come back in and continue
so
playing?
when they took me out, it was probably about third quarter. It took me about 2 minutes to get like patched up or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they put me right back in.
Gotcha.
Well, they didn't want to because of obviously if something were to actually go wrong and I get hit again. But
you told them you were fine.
I was like, I'm good. Like they were like, okay, we'll take your word for it.
Gotcha.
And then overseas, well, the league that I was playing in, we had a trainer, but he couldn't really diagnose us because it was right then and there. So if you don't have no pain and you telling me you're good, then I can only go off of what you're saying.
Yeah.
So
I got you.
Yeah.
And you said front of your head, okay.
Yeah.
And then Bar, you said back of your head for the car accident, and then if you can remember when you went baseline, what area of your head did you say? What did you say you got hit in?
I say when I fell, I probably hit like side over on my temple.
Side of your temple. I got you. Okay. Since you mentioned that your concussion came from a car accident, how did you feel your concussion impacted your mental while playing or trying to play through it?
Well, I never really actually got a chance to play through it. Like I was a DeMatha Catholic when I had my concussion, and they probably have the best athletic training staff in the country in terms of high school. So they took that very serious. Like they would not let me participate in the workouts, summer league, all that. I had to sit out for a while. I was with my trainer, and we would do like light stuff. Like he always made me wear glasses, and we would do like form stuff, and like I would sit in the chair and do like low contact, like basketball dribbling, but like I didn't play. Gotcha. I didn't play for the duration of that, so I never really like got out there to experience what it's like to actually play with one. But I didn't like actually get on 5-on-5 and contact basketball until I was 100% clear.
What about the going through the protocol? Going through the non-contact, the whole protocol, like jogging, running. Did you have any symptoms of the concussion then? And then, like, what was your mental state like? Was it tough on you because, you're an athlete, you want to be out there playing, you see the guys playing and everything like that. So did that take a toll on you?
At first it was kind of cool. I was getting to skip class, pretty much all the time. Like, they wouldn't let me go to class or anything like that because they were like, your head start hurting or like stuff getting too serious. Like, let us know, go to the training room. Like, so I was excused all the time. I was milking it for a second, but like as I took it for granted, it started to get worse. Like it was bad to the point where I don't know my grades for that last semester, my sophomore year, because I was rarely ever in class. It was really serious. Like I had headaches all the time, just very bad migraines. The sensitivity to light was pretty bad. So like I wouldn't go to school some days just because like I wouldn't want to deal with, always having to wear glasses and, people thinking like I'm not being for real about it. So it was definitely a shift, especially because I was finally getting the opportunity with the varsity team at DeMatha. So getting to miss that and then eventually like getting replaced, you know how the business works. Yeah, that was pretty real.
Okay, and you touched on your recovery process a little bit. What about your recovery process once you got back over to the States?
Mine was really just really relaxing, like not pushing yourself too much to try to play through it or work out through it because it's gonna make it worse.
Did you end up like doing workouts while concussed or anything like that?
No, I did. Nah, I don't really do anything because I was, mind you, this was, like I said, the end of the season. So this is our last game.
Mhm.
So, like, right after my game, I had my bags packed and I was like, I'm going home.
Mhm.
Like, it was a different country. I didn't want to be there. So,
How did the flight impact your concussion?
flight wasn't bad.
It wasn't?
Because it was an overnight flight.
Gotcha.
So it wasn't like I had to look at the light or whatever, nothing like that. Because
Okay.
the most light that we had was on the flight when the lights come on, like very dim.
Yep.
But other than that, it
I
wasn't
gotcha.
bad until I got home,
Mhm.
maybe like the next couple of days
Mhm.
when I like was actually waking up in the morning, like sun would hit my room in the morning. I was like, dang, like why is it hurting like
Mhm.
that? Like usually, you know, when you wake up, it's normal like squint, but like it was like some type of different pain.
I got you. Okay. So that brings me to the next question. As basketball players or athletes in general, this isn't something we think about, especially in our sport, basketball. We're one of the only sports with like no protective covering present, like a helmet or like a guardian cap, as we're seeing in football nowadays. So as basketball players, what are ways that we can protect our heads from impact when we're out there playing on the court? And are we thinking of ways that we can protect our head while playing on the court?
That's a hard one, just because, like you said, we don't wear helmets or anything like that in basketball. Like it's a very rare occurrence. Like not a lot of basketball players get concussions like football, where that's an actual like serious threat that can happen to anybody. So
Yeah.
honestly, I probably protected myself from a lot of other concussions just because like I have a background in martial arts. Like I'm a black belt in Taekwondo. I've studied in Hapkido, so I know how to fall. You know, so anytime I have some control of myself when I'm going down, like I know how to fall. So I would say just maybe bringing in people to teach, you know, athletes how to fall for real. Because like even trying to stop yourself, you can break your hand, you can break your arm. So like learning how to properly fall, protect your head from damage when you do fall, learning different angles, like how to stop yourself from you know, coming down sideways, front ways. Just learning how to fall.
Okay. And can you think of anything? I know it's a tough question, but
ways to prevent it? Not really. I feel like it's just like when you get a concussion in basketball, it's kind of like a freakish accident.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's like, it's almost like it's not a more common enough injury to make a change, like put helmets on people and stuff like that. Because most of the time it's like you get caught up, like you get tangled up with another guy and y'all both fall, and his body weight might fall on you, or like a elbow or something like that. Like it's a freakish accident. Like that's just the risk that we take.
Do you think reaction time could have any effect? Because like I've never had a concussion, and I know there's times where I've gotten hit in the head with the ball on an errant pass, or caught an elbow, or I also got kicked in the head before too, you know, or bash heads, you know, diving for a loose ball. So, do you think reaction time could play a role in it? I'm gonna ask you first, Az.
Reaction time. It just depends, because most of the time we know what's about to happen, but we don't move because then we'll get the foul.
Yep.
And then you end up messing yourself up, and you might not get the foul.
So it's that mental aspect.
So it's kind of pretty much like oh well, I know he can't do this, so I'm not going to move.
Right.
So like if you are in a game where the refs are pretty bad, I feel like you just got to know the game. Like if it's a bad ref or the ref ain't really calling nothing, you got to play the game like how it's going.
Gotcha.
Like you can't try to put your body at risk and then hurt yourself because you're trying to get a foul or you're trying to win. When you know it's not gonna go like that.
Got you. Bar.
I'm not sure how much that will help because I mean, like we've been saying, it's kind of, you know, a very fluke thing to happen in basketball. Like even when you do get hit in the head, like just basketball force is not the same. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my concussions wasn't in basketball, and one of them, like I came down hard. You know what I'm saying? Whereas I've been hit in the head by Josh, which y'all know who that is. But imagine a linebacker playing basketball. You know, I'm been hit in the head with the elbow, and I didn't have a concussion. So you know, it's just it's something you notice there, but not something to worry about too much.
Definitely. Got you. Okay. This for both of you. Why is brain health important to you guys? Start with you, Bar.
I mean, it's real. You know, like you tear a ACL, you break an ankle, break a hand, like that's stuff that you can go to physical therapy and work on, and like it's easy to recover from that just because we have doctors and medicine to take care of stuff like that. But you know, brain health is so it's just been recently getting looked into over the past like 100 years, and you know, we're still learning more and more about it every day. Like there's no quick fix for that. You know, like every hit to the brain, it takes away. You know, so being on top of that and knowing how to handle that, like initially, especially if something does occur to an athlete, that's important.
What about you guys?
I feel like it's more to it than just sports.
Yeah.
Because sports eventually is going to end.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know people play through injuries and they do stuff and that like affect. I know they do stuff like when it comes to, like you said, like a hand, ACL, ankle, like stuff like that can be repaired. But even those, like you have too many ACL injuries, so it's tough for you to walk when you finish.
Yeah.
So I feel like the injuries, I feel like it should be taken more serious because of the after effect. Like when you're done playing the sport, like when you're done being an athlete. And I don't think us as athletes think about that.
Gotcha.
Especially like not in the moment.
Gotcha.
The mental health aspect.
Because you don't need your brain. You need your brain to do everything.
Yep.
Like you need your brain to get a job when you're done. Like you need your brain to function with your family. Like that's your body. Like that's how you function. So definitely gotta take care of that.
For me, brain health means integrating brain science into sports not only creates proactive and effective concussion management, but also helps that student athletes proactively engage in the broader promotion of brain health and mental health. And like you just said, you know, life after sports, you know, that's vastly important because we put our bodies on the line every single day. And like you both mentioned, we're not thinking about, well, I'm going to go out there before a game and sprain my ankle during the game. I'm not going to go out there and think I'm going to tear my ACL. And for basketball, we're definitely not thinking about sustaining a concussion. Like you guys said, it's a fluke injury, you know, that just unfortunately happens. So at the end of the day, protecting your for school, for life, for everything, you know, dementia's out there, Alzheimer's out there, and now we're starting to learn more discoveries with CTE. So, you know, and I know that's a more common occurrence for football players when they're done playing and their afterlife, you know, they're doing tests on the brain, everything like that. But, you know, just protecting your brain the best way possible when Prince George's County concussion protocol. So, preseason, parents must complete a pre-participation head injury / concussion reporting form. If student athletes sustain a concussion, then they must provide a medical clearance for suspected head injury to a LHCP. Upon graduated return to play, 24 hours between every stage out of a minimum week. So at minimum, if you sustain a concussion in the state of Maryland, Prince George's County, you're going to be out for a week. And this is the protocol. Have light aerobic activity, 20 to 30 minutes of jogging, stationary bike, or treadmill. Stage 2 is heavy aerobic and strength activity. That is 5 sets of squats, push-ups, shoulder press. It could also mean 4 laps around the football field or 10 60-yard sprints. Stage 3 is the functional individual sport-specific drills without contact, and that is 30 to 45 minutes of sport-specific drills. So for basketball, it could be form shooting, stationary ball handling, free throws, stationary spot shooting, and things like that. Stage 4 is a non-contact practice. Stage 5 is a full contact practice and full participation in physical education. Stage 6, return to the game. In between stages, though, if you do have any symptoms of a concussion, drowsiness, lightheadedness, nausea, sensitivity to light, headaches, things like that, you have to go through the whole process all over again. So with that said, do you guys agree with this protocol, or do you think it should be a little stricter for high school athletes?
See, my only thing with that protocol is, like you said at the end, like if you show any signs of regression at any point and you're showing concussion symptoms, you go all the way back to stage 1. And like I had a concussion for 3 months. Like, I was diagnosed for 3 months, but I don't think it lasted 3 months. You know what I'm saying? I think I could have came back after a month, but like just because of like the rare occurrence, like I would have like a major migraine or like the sensitivity to light, because like I would have to like my first one was a lot longer, so I would have to take a one of the screening tests, like I think every 2 weeks, like after we do some work, and like just based off of my results on the test, that's how they would determine like whether I was ready to move on to the next stage or not. So I feel like it's different for everybody, but I don't know. I feel like like I said, it's different for everybody. You just have to gauge like how are they on a normal basis. You know what I'm saying? Is this somebody that normally gets migraines? Is this somebody that has eye problems in general? Like, are they bad at this test? Instead of just going off of the metrics that they have for like for everybody all together.
Yep. Before I get to you, Hez, you mentioned a screening test. What did that screening test consist of?
A lot of memory stuff. It would be a lot of it would show different shapes, and like I would have to match, like if this shape was here in the first test, it would show different words like dog, swim, fish. Do like 2 different tests in between, and come back to that test, and it would show different words like was this word in the test before?
Gotcha.
Stuff like that.
Gotcha. Okay. And Hez, do you agree with the protocol, or should it be stricter?
I feel like it should be fitted to the athlete.
Okay.
Like if it's a person that has a concussion every year, or if it's a person that had multiple concussions, I feel like it should be more strict.
Okay.
But if this is a person's like first concussion, then I feel like it should just go as like, because at the end of the day, you can only go off of what the athlete says. Like unless it's like a true tear or like a true like sprain where you could see the swelling, you can't really, anybody can say like, oh no, I'm good, and just go back and play.
Gotcha.
So I feel like it should be based off the athlete.
Okay.
And also it should be actual doctors involved, so you can get an actual understanding of what they're really going through. Because sometimes, I'm not saying trainers don't do their job, but as an athletic trainer, you're supposed to get your players ready to go play. Like a doctor, you're trying to get them ready to be better. Like it's 2 different things.
Yeah.
So like I said, I just think it should be tailored to the actual player. So like if they, like he said, he didn't think his lasted 3 months. So if he's okay to go back and he's only had 1 concussion and he says he's okay, and he's passing everything, and then he has like 1 headache because maybe he didn't eat that day, you shouldn't have to start all the way over because it was, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it should just be tailored to the player. Like if the player is known to get concussions, or they had a concussion last year, because in college we used to have to do the screening test before we even started. It's like every year we had to do it at the beginning of the year. And then I think it lasts for like a year or 2 maybe. So like if you actually wanted to play your sport, you had to get a physical, you had to take your screening test, and you had to pass all of that stuff before you could even suit up. So I mean, like I said, I think it should just be tailored to the athlete. Like
So my response to that is, the protocol is based on the sport. I'm throwing basketball out there because we're all basketball players. Do you think daily activities should be included? We obviously know in the classroom, teachers going to take a little light on you, things like that. But let's say outside of school, let's say you're a type of person that likes to go out. Do you think those type of activities should be monitored too? Because at the same time, you can also hurt yourself doing those activities, as opposed to, I'm sitting out for a week because I had this concussion for sports. A trainer can't tell you, you can't live your life outside of sports. So do you think that should be a monitor thing?
Now, when you say go out, you talking U Street or you talking going to the park? Like, what kind of going out we talking about?
Just your daily, I know we're so far removed from high school, but your daily, like your weekend high school student, activities, like hanging with friends, I know some high schools like to party and things like that. So, just things along those lines.
I feel like it's not more going out.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I had my concussion, it was more of my screen time.
Okay.
So like people, you could be on TikTok for like an hour straight, just scrolling, but that can mess your head up if you like, real close and you're sensitive to the light and stuff. So I don't think it's more so going out, especially because if you don't feel good, you're not gonna go out.
Yeah.
Like regardless of how you feeling or whatever, like who's gonna be there. If you don't feel like it, you could throw some glasses on or whatever, but how really effective is that? If you, like you said, if you go to a party and there's loud music, or if you go to like a bowling alley and it's like people bowling the ball, you hear the pins and it's loud, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so I think, like I said, again, the athlete will really tell like how they're really feeling.
Yeah.
Because if you say like, of course everybody's gonna be sick when they want to go to class. Don't nobody want to go to class.
Yep.
Yeah. But
But like when you leave, and now everybody's like, oh, bro, we about to go hang out or we about to go here. That's going to really tell, like, are they really hurt or, like, are they just playing around?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Because then it's like, you really want to go out. You really don't want to go to class. So it's easy to say, like, you don't feel good in class.
Yep.
Like, when you leave, it's like, okay, now we about to go here, we about to go there, we about to go to your favorite place. If you suck it up and go, and you just in pain the whole time, you might just take some medicine or something to cure it for right now. But when the medicine wears off, you're going to be hurt.
Yeah.
So it's just like I said, it depends on the athlete.
Gotcha. Bar, you want to touch?
Yeah, I'm kind of on a similar page. I think the athlete kind of has to take accountability for how they feel doing certain stuff. Like as a athletic trainer, as a doctor, you can say don't do this, that, and the third, but like they're not monitoring you 24/7. Like at a certain point, you go out and do what you do. So if you decide to do something and like go out, go to a party, go outside, and like you might take the proper precautions, putting on sunglasses or whatever. But if it brings you pain and discomfort, like that's something that you have to know, like that's going to make you worse as an athlete. So I feel like on that notion, it just has to be some kind of accountability you got to take for yourself and knowing how bad you're hurting and what your recovery is going to look like.
Gotcha. Did you guys do the screening test in high school? Because I remember college too. College athlete, played junior college. Had to do the what's it called, the screening test.
Yeah.
Before you could even suit up as a part of your physical and everything like that. So did you guys have to do it in high school too, if you can remember?
My
Senior year.
High school for football we did.
You played football?
Yeah. Football we did.
Okay. I honestly cannot remember if I had to do it in high school at all 4 years. No, I don't think so. I definitely think
we did it like once for football, but it was like if you were a first-time player.
Gotcha.
Because I think if you did it the first year in football, it was cool.
Okay.
So college for sure.
Yeah, definitely college.
College,
they
used to take everybody and then
they wouldn't even let you
labs.
practice.
Yeah.
It was like a full day of just physicals and screen tests.
Yep.
And I used to hate that day.
I know, right?
But I think it was just one time in high school, and that was like if you were a first-time player and they had to get like everything when you first. And I think that was it.
What year was this for you?
This was my sophomore year, so I think like 14.
Okay. And did you play football in the years past that?
I played 14, 15.
Okay.
So it was I played 14, 15.
Gotcha.
But I never had no concussion in football, which is crazy to me.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
do you guys believe that sustaining a concussion at a young age can impact the development of your brain as you carry on in life?
Yes. I feel like it's already a challenge as it is without having concussion.
Mm-hmm.
So with all the stuff that kids have access to nowadays, like the music choices, the pretty much the music videos, the games that they play, the things that they can have access to on YouTube and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it already plays a trick on your mind when you don't have something wrong with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
So when you do have something wrong with it, I feel like it's hindering you even more.
Mm-hmm.
So like Barry said, like it has to be accountability as to how serious it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think as a kid, because you can bounce back from literally everything, that you realize how serious it is. All you hear is, "Oh, I can't play, so I don't like it."
Gotcha.
So it's like, I think it's like you said, it does hinder you as like learning, development, and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Bar?
Going off of what he said, like your frontal lobe isn't fully developed until you're 25. So like going through childhood, like you said, you're susceptible to everything. Anything that you can hear, anything that you can see, like that influences how your brain develops and how it functions. And like, just even on some motor functioning skills, like when I had my first concussion, like I said, I didn't take it serious enough. My screen time, I didn't take the accountability I needed to. My screen time was bad. Now I lost a little bit of vision in my left eye. I was able to regain it back, off of just training with it. I had special glasses, but like, for a younger kid, somebody might get a concussion, playing Pee Wee football, Pop Warner football, coming up, 11 and 12 years old. Like, yeah, I feel like that can do some damage just in the rest of their brain development. Like that's stunning. Anytime you take a hit to the head of that nature, that's serious, like it's gonna stun it. Like that's a serious injury, and like of the research like that's been done, or as I'm aware of so far, it you don't really regain brain health. Like each time you take a hit, from what I've researched, every time you take a hit, it takes away a little bit from it. It's hard to get that back. So yeah, I definitely think that for the younger kids, it's a little more serious.
You touched on a very important point that I was going to bring up, the development of the frontal lobe, 25, 26. Does concussion slow that down to about, let's say, 28, 29, 30? Does concussion slow down that development, I guess is my question. Or do you think it can slow down that development?
I think it depends on how many times you got concussed, pretty much. Or how severe it was.
Okay.
So if it was like a mild concussion, then not really.
Okay.
Because that's almost like having a migraine.
Yeah.
But if it was like a severe concussion to the point where you couldn't leave the room, and it's like you're still having issues with it after you get better, then yeah, I feel like that. But I feel like it'd be like just any injury.
Okay.
Like if you tear your ACL, you definitely gonna walk different. But like if you sprain your ankle, you'll be fine in like 2-3 weeks. So I just feel like just the severity of the concussion, really.
Same with you. You agree?
Yeah, I'm on the same page.
Got you. How do concussions impact position-related skills? All of us were point guards. We're under 6 feet, maybe right at 6 feet. Somebody in the room, definitely not me. But
you don't got a lot for me.
But us as point guards, we're the coach out there on the floor. We're the leader. The coach is looking to us to call plays, run the offense, make sure guys are in the right spots. So with the concussion, how does that impact our cognitive thinking as point guards, having to deal with those responsibilities out there on the floor?
So with my severe concussion, I dealt with a lot of brain fog. Like there were a lot of points in time where like I would try to think about something, or I would try to focus on something, but like I don't know, my mind just couldn't wrap around anything. So I didn't play seriously until I was cleared. But even after that, like I would still have moments where it's like I'm trying to think, or I'm trying to focus, and like it's just not clicking. So especially as a point guard or any type of guard wing position where you have to be like one of the smartest people in the court, always seeing everything, always being aware of what's going around, it's definitely going to affect you.
How did you process that, the brain fogs and everything? Like how did you strengthen your brain to get past that point?
Time. I just had to let time run its course. I mean, there's nothing really I could do for that.
Did you do any Like,
I'll say I saw one of your questions earlier in the script. I don't want to get to it too early, but like there are certain things that you can eat and certain things you could do, like really just giving it enough oxygen to your brain to allow it to build up function. So like I would eat a lot of fruits. I've learned later on in my athletic career and going into personal training, strength and conditioning, that like plant protein, like peanuts, pistachios, like those are helpful and for your brain.
Yeah.
So just what you put into your body, avoiding like unnecessary sugars and stuff like that. Drinking plenty of water.
Gotcha. What about you guys?
I don't think it made me like perform different because I feel like I took the right time off and it happened at a right time. So it wasn't like I was in season and I had to go past it and keep going.
Yep.
Like I took the right amount of time off, and I got family in the medical field now, so especially when anything goes wrong, like they always tell me like this is they study, so like they're like, nah, you gotta do this, you gotta do this, you gotta do this. So me not being hard headed that one time, it worked because I ended up taking the right precautions, did what I had to do, and then by next season I was already fine.
Gotcha.
So I don't really think I had any brain fog or like anything like thinking wise. I think it was just like you said earlier, we got to take the right precautions to go through those processes so we don't have to go back to it.
Gotcha.
So, and I feel like I never had that.
Gotcha.
I never had that.
I've trained and worked out with you guys for. All right, we've been working out and training together since we were kids. His around college time for both of us. When would be like 2020, 2021, around that time?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, so we've all worked out together. We've all trained together. What are some ways that we can strengthen our brains while we're working out? I know I'm a little removed from working out and training now. I'll do it every once in a while, get up in the morning with Bowie sometimes and get some shots up. But for the most part, I'm putting you guys through drills, rebounding, giving you passes and things like that. So I guess this is more of a question for me. So what are some ways that I can include like brain workouts in the workouts I give for you guys? Can you guys think of anything on the fly? I know this wasn't in the script or anything like that. So
doing like multiple things at once.
Okay.
So like making you focus on both activities at one time.
Okay.
So I feel like making reads, if you're doing a drill, and I always like the drills where it's not like a set move that you got to do, because like in the game, you're not going to tell the defender is not going to do exactly. He might, but he might do something else to try to cut you off or like try to move a certain way because he saw how you shoot or something.
Yeah.
So I feel like just putting somebody through a real time like active drill and not just cones.
Yep.
I feel like that's more brain work because you have to use your skill set that you have, but you also got to react at the same time.
Gotcha.
And you got to react in the right way.
Yeah.
And then you got to think because right now it's just me and Payton working out. But in a game, if I make a move this way and I go middle, it might be somebody right here.
Yeah.
Or if I make a move this way and go this way, it might be somebody right there.
Yep.
Or I might not be able to get this shot off because I'm moving too slow. Whereas if you're using a cone, you can't really tell the real time reaction
because it
stays there. So I feel like people that do more reaction drills and real time stuff, like playing against an actual person, because their arms might be longer than yours, they might be taller, they might be shorter, they might be faster. They, like it just depends. So whatever aspect of the game that you're trying to work on, I feel like it should always be real time.
Gotcha.
Like if you're shooting, it should be somebody coming at you to try to block your shot.
Gotcha.
Or it should be like a timer where you do it one time and then you see like, oh, okay, cool, I gotta shoot it that quick.
Yep.
Because if I shoot it slow, you're gonna block it.
Yep.
Or if you're going driving to the basket and you're trying to do a Euro step, but every time you go to the basket, you do a Euro step. After that third time, make it like, oh, okay, he about to go this way. So I feel like it should just be more real time. I mean, we already do that, like real time stuff, and just basically not allowing your athlete to be a robot.
Yeah.
So don't you can tell them a certain move to do, but they don't really have to do it. Especially once you get past once you get to the varsity level of high school, they should just be doing fundamental stuff, and then just letting them add stuff to their game, just play around when you get to the work, when you get to the gym. Yeah. That's really how you learn how to do stuff, just doing stuff.
Barry, I'm pretty sure you agree, right?
Yeah, but I was gonna say more so just especially for the younger athletes, teaching them how to breathe properly, because y'all point guards, y'all know in basketball you make the soundest decisions when you're at your calmest state. You know what I'm saying? And especially if you're younger and you're conditioning and you're you're out of breath. A lot of kids, they don't breathe right. They huff and puff. That's constricting air going throughout your body into your brain. So just teaching how to properly breathe even when you're super tired, so you can still make sound, calm decisions. Be aware of everything going on around you.
Gotcha.
Would you think that's breathing, or would you think that's mental toughness?
I think that's more. I think it's both. You know what I'm saying? Definitely gotta be mentally tough, but just knowing how to breathe. I know there are certain points, especially when I was trying to get back into it and getting to the point of my condition I am now. My breathing was not the best. I'd huff and puff. It's you gotta take a second to actually breathe and let everything come back. And now it's okay, I'm thinking clearly again. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it helps with the mental toughness. Just being able to properly. That's how they taught us in track. You know what I'm saying? Because track, you have to be smart with that too. It's not just running in a circle.
Yeah.
You have to plan out how you gonna run. And if you huffing and puffing, you're not really thinking about how you going to run the track. You gotta actually breathe properly to allow for brain function, allow yourself to be able to see everything clearly.
Got it. Barry, I know we did this growing up a whole lot. Has you probably same thing, but tennis ball workouts. Dribbling the basketball,
coordination.
Yep, having to catch a tennis ball with the other hand, dribbling with one hand, catching with that free hand. Juggling, you guys did juggling coming up too, both of you?
Yeah.
You did? Okay.
We did. We had the little. What is that? It's a machine. It's a name for the machine, but you stand in the middle of it, and it's a bunch of circles.
I know what you're talking about.
Reaction time.
They're reflectors.
And you gotta touch it or wave your hand.
You talking about that 2K thing?
It's on 2K, but it's when you actually stand in front of it, you gotta see everything, because it might be one over here, then it might be one over here, then it might be up top, down below, it depends.
Okay.
So we did those, and then like you said, tennis ball. We also had them. I know probably when y'all were younger too, those goggles.
Yep.
They shaded the black. You couldn't see, so you gotta actually trust.
My bag with me right now.
Yeah, I got some upstairs.
So those, I know we had those. Just to teach you how to, dribble and not have to look down and be able to see everything. And I know with Chris, we all have, when we go work out, he usually does a drill where you go and you got to make a read pass, like I said, the action stuff again.
Yep.
But it's almost the same thing like tennis ball stuff, because you got to pay attention to the rim, then you got to make a pass, then he's asking you to relocate. So it's an actual real game situation. So
got you.
Yeah.
I saw this video, Formula One drivers do it before a race, where a guy has two tennis balls and the hand is on top. I think Tyreek Hill did the other day.
It was some NFL wide receiver doing it with him, right? Yeah, I saw that.
And so I'm holding the tennis ball, and then their hands on top, and as soon as I drop one of them, the person's hand on top has to go under and grab it. Yeah, I think that would be a good one for basketball players.
Yeah.
Really?
I feel like that's all athletes.
Yeah.
Okay. All athletes gotta have hand-eye coordination.
And reaction time.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
I feel like basketball players should do more of boxing workouts.
Why do you feel that?
Because I feel like boxing, you gotta have the quickest reaction time.
Yep.
Because if you don't move,
you get knocked out.
You're going down.
You're gonna put on the mat.
You're going down. And imagine you not moving,
Mm-hmm.
and you get hit by Javante Davis or Bud Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody.
Yep.
Like any professional boxer.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're going down.
So you think the boxing will help with the reaction time and hand-eye coordination for basketball players?
Personally, when I started doing boxing like I think it was the summer I came back from the UK going to Armenia.
Mm-hmm.
It gives you like this confidence because basketball is not a violent sport.
Yep.
So when it's also protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It's also like, knowing how to like move and, certain stuff like stay on your toes. Because boxers are really lean. Like, I've never seen like a big boxer that's like solid.
They're all like heavyweight, right?
Yeah, right. But even them, they're cut up too.
Yeah.
So like, I feel like boxing will help with like their mentality of like, can't nobody beat me, and not like just saying can't nobody beat me like fist fight wise, but like don't nobody train like me.
What about football workouts too?
Football workouts probably.
I know I was reading something the other day. Football cornerbacks make the best basketball defenders.
Yeah.
Mm.
You got to do everything backwards.
Yep.
You got to do everything backwards.
In basketball, it's lateral, forward, backwards, but defense is more so lateral. And you got football players that have quick hips, they can turn, and things like that. So you guys definitely agree with that?
Yeah, I feel like mobility, when you say football workouts, I feel like mobility is like the biggest thing.
Okay.
Because a lot of people don't stretch. Like,
that's true.
I still don't stretch.
Right.
Like as much as I need to be, I don't.
Yeah.
Fact.
So like I feel like mobility and boxing.
So let's touch on that point. You said you don't stretch, and look, we was just talking about this yesterday.
Yeah. You don't stretch unless you play.
Yeah, facts. I don't stretch unless I'm about to play an open run or about to work out. Even if I work out, my workout stretch may not be as
in depth. It's like a real stretch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, what are some stretches that that we can incorporate to like strengthen the brain? Can you guys think of any off the top of y'all's head?
Brain stretches.
Or like not brain stretches, that definitely came out wrong, but like I think you get what I'm saying when
like I think you could do more of like, I feel like yoga does it.
Okay.
When you do stretching.
Okay.
Like, because yoga, you take your time, and everybody swears up and down they can do yoga. But bro, I promise you.
Listen.
You go to that yoga class, them women that be in that yoga class,
listen,
bro.
You're not
gonna
lying.
get hurting after you get out of there.
Listen, we went through a stretch over the course of a week at my time at Allegany, my junior college, where we had like 4 games in 1 week, and our coach wanted us to come in on a Sunday and do like a 45-minute build program. And I can't speak for the rest of the teammates. I'm gonna speak for me. I was sore for like the next 2 days, and it wasn't even from basketball. It was from that yoga workout. So I definitely feel you. What about with our stretches, incorporating those tennis ball workouts that we say, like the juggling? Maybe we could like do a leg stretch, and we're practicing that 2 tennis ball hold where the guy drops one, you gotta grab it. Could we implement that to strengthen our brains? You guys think that's a good idea?
I mean, in that, wouldn't you be taking away from the actual stretch too? You know what I mean?
That is true. That's true.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that.
Okay.
Like if you're gonna do mobility, I feel like you should just focus on mobility.
Yeah.
Because especially for people that don't stretch and don't know how to stretch.
Yep.
And if you implement something else, we're all competitors. We're gonna try to win. We're gonna try to do what we gotta do to be the half time, whatever. Yeah. Especially because you will tell us like, oh, well, J-Ron did it like this. Now I'm like, all right, well now I'm about to do it like this. Yeah, I gotta do it better than him. So like, I feel like it should just be, if you're gonna do mobility, let's do mobility.
Okay.
It might be sometimes where you have an advanced player like that's just like, oh, I stretch on a daily, and you can implement that to help him like with his other stuff that he might need help with. But for like people that actually need it, like, nah, I think you should just focus on mobility, focus on one thing at a time, because then you end up running the risk of them taking shortcuts just to be good at whatever it is you're doing.
Yep.
So
honestly, I think one of the best ways to build up your brain and like just work your mind and like kind of warm it up in itself. Like he was saying, like trying different sports like boxing and stuff like that. I would add on ballet, but like just getting smarter. You know what I'm saying? Like trying different stuff and like just getting smarter itself. It does translate into basketball. Like read a book, read something every day. You know, go watch film. Like that's training your mind to be able to process stuff at a different level. You know, the more knowledgeable you are, like the better you're gonna be at basketball. Like you think about the best basketball players ever, they're super intelligent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that in itself is strengthening your mind. You know, the more knowledge you're able to obtain, it helps.
Yeah. I know we touched on that topic for a minute, so I'm gonna spend just a little bit of time on these last two questions. Bar, you touched a little bit. What are some foods athletes can eat to improve brain health? I know you said what?
Plant protein, like you know, I prefer pistachios. That's my favorite. Fruits are also very good for you, like apples, oranges, like stuff that and not like the sugary stuff that you get from the store in the packages, just like real fruit stuff that hold like actual nutrients in them. You know, that all contributes in the brain health and
What about you?
Same thing.
Can't think of anything else?
No, I mean
water too for sure.
Definitely water.
I mean, I feel like it's so much underlying issues with the food now. So you already have issues with good food, like the fruits, the vegetables. Like it's always something going on with them.
Yeah.
So I feel like, I mean, I never really thought of it like that. Like y'all opened my eyes to see, like, you know, I eat well. Like I have meal preps and stuff like that. But occasionally I get Chick-fil-A, Qdoba, stuff like that. But I never thought about actual food that can help your brain health.
I was the same thing like you up until last night. We were doing a bingo, like a brain workout bingo game, and the first cards we had was, you know, brain healthy foods. And so salmon was on there, red wine and grapes, you know, the fruits, pistachios, lean red meat, but in moderation. I'm not too sure what all falls in with that. I'm pretty sure it's not like hamburgers and stuff like that. You know? But there's other things on there. I can definitely get that information to you, Hez, you know, and you too, Bars, so, you know, we can make sure we're developing our brains, not just athletically and in life, you know, with the foods that we eat and stuff like that. So I'll definitely get that to you guys and everything like that. Yeah. And my last question, how does brain health relate to other sports careers or just careers in general?
Brain health, like I said before, it's everything.
Yeah.
Like you need it for everything.
Like,
absolutely.
You can't be in anybody's employee. You can't be anybody's employee and don't know what's going on.
Yep.
Like you can't. You just can't. Like you need your brain. Like no matter how you slice it, no matter how you say it, like you need your brain. Like, and you need your brain to go to school. You need your brain to go get a job. You need your car. You need your brain to even move your fingers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you can't do anything without your brain. So like, I feel like it's not a topic that's touched on in basketball because, like I said, it's a freakish injury.
Yep.
But in more sports like football, soccer is even kind of crazy in there. Soccer, because soccer you really don't have nothing on. You're just out there running.
And you touched on a good point because I played soccer and I definitely wasn't thinking about a concussion. Yeah. And I've definitely come to almost being kicked in the head.
Right. Or running into something like you running and chasing the ball and y'all just bump heads.
You feel like soccer should be a sport where you have like a little cap or helmet? No. Still no?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we can't like make the sport so like if you're gonna be scared, then just don't play. Like I feel like that's the risk that you take with playing any sport.
Yep.
Like you play, even if you go play tennis, you could blow your ACL going to cut and hit the ball back.
Yep.
Like every sport is
Tiger Woods twice.
Yeah. It's like
golf.
Everything is a risk.
Yep.
Like if you want to play the sport, that's what comes with it. Yep. So I feel like if you like scared to get hit or like just don't play, because then you will get somebody else hurt because you scared. Yep. You out there playing around.
Definitely.
So like if you scared, just don't play.
What about you, Bart?
Shit, beyond sports, like brain health, like you said, it's important towards everything. Like just maintenance for it, like that's super important too, because like beyond like just normal brain function, mental health is also a real thing too. And like shoot, I know when I had my severe concussion, not so much the mild one, like that wasn't really much of anything. It was more so just getting past protocols. But like with my severe concussion, like I had insomnia, you know what I'm saying, just because of like the impact and like just getting to sleep, like that was hard. And like the more I went on, like less sleep, like I would develop stuff like night terrors, and I started having nightmares and stuff like that, or like I developed PTSD from the accident for a moment. So like just taking care of your mental health on top of that still, even past sports, making sure your brain is fully developing into adulthood. Like many people, they develop stuff like dementia and Alzheimer's, not even off of genetics, but just because they didn't take care of themselves. Going into adulthood, not eating the right stuff, not drinking the right stuff. Maybe having a fall or taking, like I know my grandma, like long past, but like she had a fall. She was unconscious for a while. You lose oxygen when you're in a state like that, and like she developed dementia because of that incident. You know what I'm saying? So being on top of all that and able to take care of yourself going into adulthood so that you can have a normal functioning adult life.
Got you. So I'm going to close with this. Any advice to younger athletes?
Don't play football. Nah, I'm playing. Listen to your athletic trainers, and like all the little stuff in between, like the screenings and all the physicals and all that stuff. Like take that serious, because like it doesn't seem important at the moment and it's tedious, but like it all has its purpose. And like if you do end up getting into any injury protocol, take it serious.
Yes.
To think there's a life after sports.
Okay.
So I know me personally, I wasn't thinking about that, like ever.
Facts.
So like you see people like at the highest level, you see like LeBron, he playing until he's 40.
Yeah.
Chris Paul playing, he was like 38.
38.
Something crazy.
KD like 36.
Yeah, like everybody, all our favorite players are getting old. But they're so well off that if they were to stop today, they're not missing nothing.
Yeah.
So, like Steph Curry probably never worked a day in his life.
Nope.
LeBron's never gonna have to work. LeBron's kids never gonna have to work.
No, he's a billionaire.
So that's what I'm saying. And like, so I feel like it just life after sports is very important. I feel like sports is just a stepping stone to making you into the man or woman that you're gonna be. Because I know playing sports gives you that edge in the working world of like working hard, teamwork, fast-paced environment, competitiveness, everything that an actual job is looking for.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're not blessed with the possibility to go professional at any level, because I respect everybody who goes professional. Yeah. Like anything professional, like I can't do it. Like I can't be no professional tennis player or nothing like that. So I feel like everybody who gets a chance to go professional, or if you just go to D1 college, use sport to make your life better, because you're going to come in contact with some people that might be your boss, that you might have played football with, and they might have a job for you just because you were a good player or you worked hard. So I feel like you never know who's watching, you never know who you're going to run into, you never know who you're going to need later on in life. So just use the sport to better yourself. But don't just play basketball, don't just play football, like use it to your advantage. Like I use basketball to travel the world. I would have never went to Armenia or Thailand. I didn't even know what Thailand was before I went there. Like I would have never went to London. I would have never went to none of these places, but it gives you an outlet to go see stuff and show you that it's more to life than just where you live at. So I feel like you should just use the sport to better yourself, get some good experiences, make some good memories with some good people, and then take all your connections and use it to your advantage when you finish.
I'm about to say we got that basketball connection.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we all cool. We're here right now. We work out together. We hang out together. We go to games. So definitely make those connections. My advice, I'm gonna fits Barry's statement a little bit. Definitely listen to your resources, but also listen to yourself. Listen to your body. We've been saying it the entire show. You know you. You know how much pain your knee is in. You know how much pain your ankle's in, and things like that. Listen to your body. Don't make the injury worse than what it originally was, especially with the concussion. If you know if you've had a concussion and you're trying to get back, you're still going through the symptoms. A doctor can't look at your brain with an X-ray and say, "Oh yeah, you have a concussion." Oh, you're still dealing with the symptoms of a concussion. Only you can say that. So just listen to your body, and don't put yourself in harm's way. And also, if you're interested in joining the Head to Speech team, go to headtospeech.org, click on join the team tab, and there will be instructions on how you can apply. You can also follow Head to Speech on Instagram and on LinkedIn. And for additional information, email info@headtospeech.org.